Hi, folks. Welcome back to Heard It on the X, the East Coast premier music talk show. Our super engineer, Jim, in the break was able to fix some stuff. We're joined by Kenny Aronoff, drummer extraordinaire, and I just want to read a little bit of his resume to people out there who might not be, aware of the name. Kenny started with John Mellencamp. He's played with Tony Iommi, the Smashing Pumpkins, Bob Seger, John Fogerty, Melissa Etheridge, Bon Jovi, Elton John, Rod Stewart, Alanis Morissette, the Rolling Stones, Leonard Skinner. I now have to take a breath to finish this resume. Kenny has played with everybody under the sun. And he joins us now on a cleaner phone line, right, Ken?
Yep.
Oh, thank you so much. I got to ask you a couple quick questions. You went to Indiana University, and I'm assuming you studied in more of an orchestra-style drumming? Is that what your major was?
Yeah, exactly. I got a degree in classical music. I was self-taught drummer and played in rock and roll bands since I was a little kid, 10, 11 years old. I didn't take any lessons. I just did it on my own. And then the Boston Symphony Orchestra the Boston Symphony Orchestra would come up in my area in Massachusetts, Western Mass, in the summers. And I started hooking up with the percussionists, taking lessons, because somebody in town told me it was really cool. It had nothing to do with rock and roll. It had very little to do with drum set. I mean, he just basically, I don't know why, I just decided to follow his lead. And by the time I was a senior in high school that summer, I was practicing 9 hours a day. Timpani, vibes, concert snare drum, and then drum set on my own. And then I was playing in a jazz, a jazz trio. And I was practicing that much, so I was terrified because I was going to music school. I didn't know, that seemed like the logical thing for me to major in. And the school I got into was predominantly classical, which was University of Massachusetts. And I tried to transfer to Eastman up there in Rochester in your direction, and they were full with transfer students. Went to Aspen Music Festival run by Juilliard in New York, which is one of the top 3 conservatories of music. Went there and met a teacher that was so amazing, both as a player and a philosopher, and basically like a Marine sergeant type mentality, very, very hard and strict. I followed him to Indiana University and did 4 years of studying there, where I played in operas and orchestras every semester, music theory, music history, music theory, conducting, piano, sightseeing, singing, jazz band, percussion ensemble, plus your regular degree program. It's a tough school to get a degree out of. It's top 3 music schools in the country.
Yeah, and it's heavy-duty credentials.
What?
Heavy-duty credentials coming out of that school. I'm familiar with it.
What'd you say about my credentials?
I said it's heavy-duty credentials, that school.
Yeah. I eventually I worked with Leonard Bernstein one summer, and Aaron Copland, who was one of the great American composers, or both of them were. And then I eventually got a job in the Jerusalem Symphony Orchestra and in Quito, Ecuador, and I turned it down, and I realized I'd rather play in a club making $50 a night playing rock and roll. I mean, it was a major change in my head, because I realized that my heart really wanted to play drum sets. So then I started practicing and studying. I was practicing 8 hours a day, living at my parents' house, and studied in New York and in Boston, drum set really for the first time. And then I moved to Indiana to form a fusion band, and it's there that I met Mellencamp as I was about to move to New York City. And I met Mellencamp and auditioned and got that gig, and that was the beginning of my entire, my rock and roll career.
It's interesting, the story that you just told me, though, because there's something that I picked up out of your personality out of there. You're a kid, you go to a jazz camp, you meet this teacher who becomes, this influential person. You start taking lessons somewhere. You're very much a student of the game. I mean, probably explains. Your drumming style to me is amazing, because you're an amazingly gifted drummer, but you're somebody who can play with Ray Charles and Puddle of Mudd. I mean, it's right. That's heavy, bro. That is,
yeah. And I just did the Kennedy Center honors, which they do every year.
Yeah.
And I was in a band honoring Neil Diamond, and I'm telling you, it was soft and slow. And man, no, that's the hardest stuff to play. To be like one of the heaviest hitters, I hit really hard.
Right.
To have control at the softest, and that's the hardest thing, is to play soft. And I got a ton of emails from musicians who understand that.
Mm-hmm.
They went, "Holy shit, dude, that must have been so intense." And it is, because you don't have many rehearsals. You got the President of the United States there. You got everybody who's anybody in film, and actors, and you are literally, you have just, the day of the show, you have just run through it for the first time as a show. Massive pressure. You got to read, and you got to be, and things always go wrong. And being a drummer, you've got to adjust. Unlike a quarterback, you got to be able to, you have to count off all the songs. You have to know when to count off, what the count off is. You have to be able to fix things. And this is not a well-polished show at all. These are the best musicians in the USA doing this stuff. I mean, shit. Not the MD, but the organ player is Michael Bearden, who's the MD was the MD on Lopez show. I mean, that's just the extra keyboard player in this band. And that's the kind of people.
No kidding.
So what happened, I think, was when I was a kid, I was always interested in just playing, because it just felt good, and I was open to doing anything. And people used to make fun of me. Like, the jazzers made fun of me when I played classical. Classical made fun of me when I played jazz. They both made fun of me when I played rock. But I was playing R&B. I'd play polkas. I'd play anything. I don't care if it was weddings, VFW. I played it all. I kept doing that just because I like playing.
Well, and it shows, like I say, to be able to work, to be able to be the type of musician that can perform, like you just say, at the Kennedy Center, doing a Neil Diamond thing, or with Ray Charles, and then be able to switch gears and play with Chickenfoot or Puddle of Mud. Generally those two schools are, that's left and right thinking. That's not. They're not similar schools of music by any stretch of the imagination.
And most people wouldn't want to do both. I don't know why I'm like that, but I just do. And I kept doing it, and after 30 years, you suddenly become really good at just doing that, being able to adapt. That's why people will hire me to do like these shows, like I did the inauguration for Obama. And I was playing with Beyonce,
yeah.
I was playing with Mary J. Blige, Stevie Wonder, will.i.am, but I was also playing with Josh Groban, I was playing with Mellencamp, I was playing with James Taylor. You know what I mean? Sheryl Crow. I was all over the map.
Yeah. That is an amazing talent that you have, and like you say, it's because you're open. Your whole life you've been open to tons of music styles. You've been a conduit for it, and you've absorbed it all. You deserve a lot of credit for that.
Thank you so much. I mean, but I want to give myself. First of all, I'm not the most talented guy in the world. I just worked really hard at this, and that's the only thing I give myself credit for, is that I would make myself work hard, and it's it's just from hard work. That's all. Just really hard work, and I have a huge passion for being alive and doing what I do, and I appreciate it like I had just started out. And so with all those things together, it keeps me going. And so, if you put in 30 years and you pay attention and you keep your ego in check, you're gonna get good at it.
It's true.
And it's that reputation and work ethic that got you pretty much, like you said, you're playing with Sammy, Michael, and Satriani. I mean, that's, that alone that shows the diversity, that you're able to bring to the table, which this band kind of has too, you know what I mean?
Those guys, that band is like a dream come true. That band is the band that everybody would love to be in, because it's so much fun, and the musicianship is ridiculous. I mean, Joe Satriani is a bad motherfucker. I mean,
you got to watch the FCC. With us, Ken. You're gonna end up getting us kicked off the air, maybe.
A bad mofo.
He's a bad
son of a gun.
Dude. This guy is a walking encyclopedia. I mean, forget about the soloing. It's all the other stuff he does that's incredible.
Yeah,
that's true. No, you're right.
He gets his time and his feel and his tone and his ideas. He's like Jimmy Page, man. Before you even hear vocals, you've got like 3 hook lines in one song that, or Tony Iommi when I did the Fused record. Mm-hmm. I never even heard Glenn Hughes' vocals until the album came out. But until then, it sounded like songs, because his melodies, his hook lines are like vocals.
That's a great analogy. That's really a great analogy for Satriani too. That's
Absolutely
what he just said. Yeah, the great comparisons. I got to ask you a question. Was there any? Well, you just said that it was a little nerve wracking. It sounds like a lot of your gigs might be nerve wracking. Was there any one of the people that you played with where you thought to yourself, "Wow, I'm in over my head on this one"? Have you ever thought that, or do you always think that?
When I recorded with the Buddy Rich Big Band.
Oh, really?
Oh my God.
That had to be nerve wracking.
That kicked my ass because I had. Are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
I dropped the phone. I'd been doing sessions with Hank Jr., Cinderella, a country artist from Montreal. I was in New Orleans. I was all over the place. And then I show up to, so I wasn't like practicing at home for 3 weeks for the Buddy Rich Big Band, the thing that Neil Peart from Rush had produced.
Right.
And I was playing up-tempo, well, one song was very, very, very up-tempo jazz. It's called Straight No Chaser. If you go on my website, it might be in the audio part. As a matter of fact, I think it is. And also, a part of my marimba concerto is there.
And by the way, Kenny, great new website too. Folks have to go.
This new website.
Yeah.
My girlfriend just brought in my breakfast for me because she's so sweet. Gina, I'm on the air right now. They're making fun of me because they're calling me on the landline, and I was going to text you to get my number.
And I'm so glad that you said that because I want the listeners to know this. We had problems with Kenny's cell phone, so we needed to get him on the landline. He didn't know the landline to his own house. He was going to text his girlfriend. I love it.
Well, now in case of emergency, you know how to save yourself, so that's good news.
Well, I'm eating bacon right now.
All right.
Well, so when does the Chicken Foot dates kick off?
We're going to rehearse January 6th and 7th. And then on the 9th, we fly to Europe. And we play, if you go on the website, we play, I think, Manchester, England on the 12th of January. The 14th, we play London. And then we go to France. And then somewhere in the Netherlands. And then Germany.
Cool. Now, are you guys planning a summer tour, or is this going to be a fall tour? What's the game plan?
From that, there'll be like maybe May, June. Who knows? That's what they're thinking. One step at a time.
Cool. And I want to ask you real quick.
Is that everybody's receiving Chicken Foot so much?
Yeah.
Because there's a lack of that kind of music and band.
Absolutely.
I mean, I feel like I'm in Van Halen and Led Zeppelin.
Cool.
With a little splash of cream.
Yeah, that's a great description. It really is a great description, and there really is a lack of that type of band out there.
Well, I don't think people. Yeah, well, I won't get into it, but yeah.
And I believe the record Chicken Foot 3 has also been nominated for a Grammy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So that
wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Just real quick, I want to ask you, tell me what it was like to be part of Sammy Hagar's annual birthday bash in Cabo.
Oh, that was great. Did you see that? I just posted.
Yeah, I saw this Sammy's video. That has to be a blast. An absolute blast.
On that my new website, and it was great. Oh man, it was so much fun. It was way more fun than I even expected. I'd heard about it, but it was really cool. Sammy's like, man, he's such an amazing guy as a guy and as a musician, and every time he sings, it's amazing. I'm lucky. I mean, I go from Sammy Hagar to John Fogerty back to Sammy Hagar. Or Chicken Foot. I mean, you guys, the songs that the way John Fogerty sings and his song selection, it's insane. And then you're doing Chicken Foot. It's crazy. It's unbelievable.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a testimonial to you, though, bro. I really mean this. Even talking to you, the energy that you still have, just like you said, you've got passion for the industry, you got passion for what you do, and it all comes through. I mean, I think you make your own luck in this world. I really do believe that.
The key to success in my mind is hard work, because that's like a vehicle. That's like transportation through life. Passion, which fuels the hard work. If you have passion, that's like putting great gasoline and fuel into your vehicle. And then education. And you've got to keep learning. You can't just, if you sit on your ass and get lazy, I'm sorry, but,
That's true.
Things will pass. So I'm lucky in that I'm driven. And that's for my girlfriend. It drives everybody nuts. I'm obsessed. As soon as she goes to sleep, I start working, and before she wakes up, I start working. I can grab a couple, 4 more hours in the day. I mean, it's just, I'm gifted. I'm lucky that I have that genetic thing because that really has paid off. But yeah, to me, I mean, those 3 things apply to anything, even being a housewife, even raising kids. If you gotta work hard, and if you have passion, you'll do a good job. And then education, you got to keep learning and applying yourself.
Well, the other thing too, I think in the music industry, I think we lose the education fact on a bunch of players. I own a local music store too, so I see these kids coming in where they'll take a couple lessons and then they'll bounce. They'll want to do things on their own, and it's like, man, if you learn the right things and if you do it the right way, it's not some it's not some square bag that we're trying to give you here. We're trying to teach you how to be a musician. There's a language that we speak, and you got to understand it, And I think kids lose that a little bit now.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, people feel entitled. People are in a fast food society. People want things to happen fast. Just think about it. You want to find something on the internet, bam, bam, and find it. All right, on to the next thing. Bam, 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 on to the next thing. But there's no shortcuts from hard work. No shortcuts. You cannot, there's no substitution for hard work, and I'm talking about applied hard work for the rest of your life.
It's true.
No shortcuts, I'm sorry.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, you could take a drummer who's like super, or a guitar player super gifted with technique, but the wisdom that they need to be a really, really deep musician, that comes from hard work and lots of opportunities and lots of experiences, and you don't get that from just jamming and having fun. I mean, you got to really work hard and apply yourself, and not just in your house. You learn from talking to intelligent people.
It's so funny that you say that too, because I think networking is so important for especially young musicians, that it seems like in this modern society, and I see it firsthand. I'm on the front lines of these young kids learning. I mean, any given half an hour in my store, there's a group of kids coming out of lesson rooms, guitar players, bass players, drummers. They don't even talk to each other, standing next to each other, I mean, why aren't you guys getting together and jamming,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, after a half hour's done doesn't mean you have to stop practicing.
No, I mean, and literally
done,
you're standing in a room, a guitar player just walked out of a lesson, a drummer just walked out of a lesson, you're all the same age, 14, 15, and they'll be in separate sides of the store.
Or they got their texting immediately, my lesson's over, I'm out.
Yeah, if we can get them on Facebook, though, then they'll talk, Eddie.
Sure. I know. It's weird.
It is weird. I think it's going to turn around, though. I got a feeling it's going to turn around. We'll see. Well, my friend, I appreciate so much you spending some time with us, and I know we've interrupted the delivery of the mirror and the bacon now. So,
man, the bacon weighs an ounce. The mirror weighed about 200 pounds.
Everybody, if you get a chance, check out Kenny's new website for chicken foot dates. He does clinics across the country.
I'll put them up.
You'll be out with Fogerty again, I assume, when he hits the road.
We're going to Australia.
Cool.
With Fogerty, the end of March, beginning of April.
Cool.
Read the website.
Both people I'll be with this summer somewhere in Europe, USA.
Cool. And the website is KennyAronoff.com,
Yep.
ARONOFF.com. Kenny, are you going to the NAMM show this year?
I land on the 20th from Europe with Chickenfoot, and I'm going to go to NAMM on Saturday the 21st.
We do a huge NAMM broadcast. Kim and I will be out there, the producer of the show, and myself. We'd love to hook up with you and make you part of the broadcast.
Yep. Call me.
All right, my friend.
Awesome.
All right, thank you so much, and we're going to be looking for you soon.
Okay, take care, you guys.
Enjoy.
Take care, Kenny.
Yep.